And who are we to disagree with Bill Robeson that in fact everyone needs homebrew?
It's true. I mean, just right here in the veins, or I guess ears, I suppose.
I just looked at myself in the camera and it's like, oh God, I really just showed up to work that way, huh?
Look, there's nothing that nobody else can tell me that I haven't said to myself 5 feet from
No,
here.
but like, golly, I just, ooh, I mean,
We're getting old.
it's the end of the day recordings that are like, you look at yourself and you're like, man, you're looking haggard there, buddy.
Not only is it end of day, it's also end of week.
Oh man, yeah, no, this week has been a killer too.
It has been.
Like, just one. I feel like Cat Williams won right after the motherfucking.
You know what consecutive means.
But every morning I wake up and I'm like, another fucking other.
Yeah, another one. And it's funny because right before Joey and I started recording, he saw something that pissed me off by proxy.
Well,
And
okay. I'm going
and
to
I
show you. I'm going to show all of our wonderful viewers.
Mhm.
I think we
So
should keep the store's name anonymous.
yes, oh absolutely. But look, both Joey and I have been born and raised, in Louisiana. He moved away for 4 or 5 years, but he's now back.
And even when I was there, I was very critical of places that called themselves like Creole or Cajun.
Yeah.
I think I told you about the time I went to, and they're closed now, so I can clearly use their name with no problem. It's a place called Yats Cafe.
Mhm.
Automatically lost me at the name, but I was so homesick. I just needed a plate of red beans and rice and some fried chicken or a pork chop, and I was going to be good. I went in, and this dude was like, "Welcome to Yats, where we serve everything etouffee style." And I was like, "Yeah, man, all right. Can I just get a plate of red beans and rice?" And he was like, "Are you okay if we serve that etouffee style?" And I was like, "You mean like you're gonna take a scoop of red beans and rice or red beans and put it on top of rice, like the dish?"
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's etouffee style in New Orleans." I said, "I'm aware, but thanks." So then he hands me this. I mean, so much time. I've never had sweet red beans and rice before, but it was like time to the point where like all you taste is time and like a slight sweetness that and then this man had the audacity to come out and ask if I wanted garlic bread. I was like, well, yeah, of course.
Of course.
And he brought me out a piece of French bread that had been like warmed for a microsecond on a pan with melted garlic butter that had Frank's hot sauce in it. And he was like, "This is Cajun style." I was like, "I am going to burn this establishment
To the ground.
I'm not going to regret it. I will miss the Jimmy John's that is next door, but I will burn the rest of this to the ground."
Collateral damage.
All right. So a shrimp po' boy bow. How many shrimp should be on there?
It should be overflowing.
More than I can count, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
3.
1, 2, 3.
My favorite comment on this post is, "This just enough shrimp here to piss me the fuck off."
I'm thinking of the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob puts the tray
pickles,
and he's like, "Where's the Krabby Patty?" And he goes, "Did you check under the tray?" And Squidward just goes, "Oh no, I didn't." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it was never gonna be there." Like,
isn't that just insanity? Insanity.
Considering
you know what the price was?
Too much.
$13. That was a $13 3 shrimp po' boy.
And considering that this was almost a cooking show, we have a little bit of leeway, and also we're Louisianians by birth.
This is like this is a political thing.
We know what this isn't a political attack.
Yeah, this is a culture. Look, history is about preserving culture. Shrimp po' boys are part of culture. Okay, I can spin this. We've done history of food before.
Yeah.
How about this? Here we go. Why is it called a po' boy? Well, it was for poor dock workers in New Orleans. They made sandwiches. There you go. Look, there's a history lesson for you. All right, leave us alone. Get in the comment section. Go crazy. I don't care.
Okay.
Nobody can match the comment section on my emerging Civil War post right now. We're up to 30 comments, my guy.
I had a pleasure reading that this afternoon because I figured somebody else is going to throw in their 2 pennies, which ain't going to buy you nothing.
30 whole comments. And all I'm saying is that is reader traffic.
Yeah.
So keep those ratings coming up, my guy. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. What are we here to talk about? We're ranking. Excuse me. We're ranking tanks.
Ranking tanks.
Ranking tanks. A little bit different for us. We've not done like a favorite tank thing.
I know. I was going to say, you've heard of TikTok. Well, welcome to Tank Talk.
I feel like that's a thing. Is it a thing?
It should be.
If it's not, it needs to be.
If it's not, you heard it here first.
Yeah. Now I'm going in and trying to actually remember all the different tank names that you sent me. Because I kind of forgot to do that. Although I will say I don't want to jump ahead. I'm not impressed by your list.
Understandable.
I'm not impressed. I'm actually kind of depressed with your list.
We'll see.
We'll see. I think I have a better list.
We'll see.
And granted, no spoilers here. All of my tanks are allied tanks.
Imagine that.
And they're good allied tanks.
They're good ones.
By the good allies.
I have good reasons as to why I picked mine.
You have reasons? I have no reasons for mine. All right. So the way this is going to work, Bo and I are going to rank and talk about our favorite tanks. And then in the comment section, you can go absolutely bananas and tell me that that's a terrible tank, or tell Bo that he picked the greatest tanks in the world. And, I'll disagree vehemently. This is like a blind process, too. I don't know how he ranked his tanks. He doesn't know how I ranked my tanks. We just know that there is an assortment of tank-like vehicles in our picture slides down below. So not a double blind process, but pretty close. So you can trust the system here. And there's not really like a winner, but one side won the war. So
very true.
I'm just saying, this is guys with the good tanks. The really good tanks. All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
You do one, I'll do one. You do one, I do one.
Sounds good to me. Well,
what's up first?
Tank 1 on top of my list.
Wait, tank 1 or tank 1?
This is top tank for me.
This is your favorite? Oh, do it the other way.
Okay.
That screws up the suspense.
All right. Fair. That's a good
point. That's not very suspenseful. It's just like, okay, here's tank.
You make a good argument. Why lead with the best? We have to actually have our listeners wait until the end.
Yes, give them the shitty tank first.
Yeah, okay. All right, that makes
sense. Which I hope is what I think it is.
It probably is. The T-34.
T-34 is your least favorite of your favorites.
Yes. Okay. The T-34/85. So the thing is that the T-34 was mass produced. There's over 80,000 of them produced, which made it the most produced tank in the Second World War. At first, the T-34 was actually fit with a 76.2 millimeter cannon, but was later upgraded to an 85 millimeter cannon, specifically after the Battle of Kursk. But what's incredibly interesting is that the T-34, in its originality, had sloped armor, and it actually, especially against the German Panzer, actually allowed for the T-34 to have a bit of protection, and it actually kind of shocked German tank commanders because of the T-34's effectiveness and some of its specs. They really didn't think to expect much from Stalin's war machine, which, of course, we know that one of the worst things that a commander can do is to underestimate his enemy. But it's not until after the Battle of Kursk, around August 25th, 1943, that the T-34 got an upgrade to the 85 millimeter cannon, which is why we have the T-85 come in a little bit later. But what's kind of interesting to me, and this is something that the Americans do as well, is instead of developing a sort of an entire brand new tank, which the Soviets were actually creating prototypes of a T-43 tank. And instead of expending the labor, instead of expending all the natural resources, especially steel, all of that to basically create a brand new style tank, the Soviets decided, well, why don't we just improve the T-34? So they strip it of the 76 millimeter cannon and put an 85 millimeter cannon on it, which was absolutely devastating firepower. There are some problems though with the T-34/285. It suffered from gearbox failure rather frequently. Another thing too is that by the end of 1942, the T-34/85, later on in 1943, doesn't have sufficient enough armor as Germans started making advancements in tank technology. But it is been argued by historians that it is the T-34 that it forced Germany to rethink tank design, tank firepower, etc., which actually helps the Germans create new tanks like the Panther.
And then of course they get they go King Tiger route, because it's the perfect tank for fighting in the East, where you have these giant open fields where you can use that massive gun.
Yes.
And then they get deployed in the West, and they're absolutely worthless.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And it's just so Russian, right? Is that you have this fairly capable tank, but you don't train tank crews how to use it effectively. So a lot of T-34, T-85 tank crews have very minimal training because their training is the Second World War. It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a little.
But also too, the conditions inside the tank aren't very good. The crew is pretty much cramped in there like a Russian sardine. The tank visibility sucked pretty bad. And I've reading up about the T-34 and T-85. I've kind of nicknamed this tank the meat grinder tank because it has a very high casualty rate, especially from like 1943 to 45. The Soviets don't have a good kill to loss ratio, especially in the East.
So that's number 3.
Number 3.
So then I would have to do my number 3. Oh, and you see, this is the part I didn't really prepare for because, how do you? But I mean, pretty easily. I'm going to go with the M3 Honey Stewart. And the reasoning behind this is not only was it one of the first tanks that I ever saw, like in person, so there's like a nostalgia thing to it. Just as far as meeting the German and Italian armor in the desert for the very first time, the Honey did exceptionally well. It's got a 37 millimeter gun, which is pretty much all you need against Italian armor. Not only that, I mean, it's called the Honey for its smooth ride. British tankers loved it. That's the other theme for me tonight. All of my armor was used by the British armor. I have nothing that's strictly American, but the Honey Stewart, I think, when it's done in North Africa, the way that the M3 performs in China, Burma, India, and in the Pacific, I mean, it's just I think it's as versatile of a tank as you could ask for. It doesn't need the big heavy armor. It doesn't need the big heavy gun because in all the places where it's deployed to counter smaller, crappier armor. It's also deployed as like almost a using light tank methods and light tank tactics. So you're not going to see like big tank on tank battles with an M3 versus say a Tiger. That's just not going to happen. But I went fast. I went versatile. And I decided to go with something I just think is it's a tank that doesn't get a lot of love. And instantly I can see the comment section of, well, they didn't have heavy armor. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, it looks cool.
Well, it's also versatile.
My favorite. My third favorite.
Yeah, my third favorite. Well, it's versatile too, and that's has its own usefulness. I mean, And as we'll see, arguably with my number 2 tank, we'll see a couple problems with that.
I mean, there's a reason that they made 22,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that the United States pumped them out in the numbers that they did, and two, they're incredibly inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
You just think about total expenditures making the M3, $32,900 per tank.
It's not bad.
Which is not bad at all.
It's probably about 750,000 by today's standards.
I don't know. I don't know how to do. I've never understood how to do inflation math.
So, just to give you a general idea, I have a surprise for last. But to kind of put the cart before the horse just for a moment, just for mathematics' sake, $21,000 in say 1940 is about $367,000.
Okay, so then 33,000 or 32,000. Yeah, 33,000 would be what?
Yeah, I was thinking like 600 to 750,000 maybe.
Yeah. I'm sure there's somebody who listens to this show that knows math and can do that. But
not us.
Fortunately, I just Google things like that. The old AI, I don't know, something like that. But I mean, just think about the cost, and then two, the other piece of it. It's got everything that you need. 37 millimeter gun, again, good enough to take on other light tanks. Carries 147 rounds of ammunition. It's got 330 caliber machine guns on it with 6,750 rounds on the tank. It's got a twin series Cadillac engine. It's all tank, all that you need really, and it's got an operational range of about 100 miles, which as long as you keep fuel and keep petrol running with it, you should be good. So I went with the tank that could hit 36 miles an hour and just look really stellar doing it. And come at me in the comment section. That's fine. I went for looks, class, elegance, and on the right side of the war. That's what I went for.
Fair.
All right.
M3
number 2, sir.
Yes. Number 2 would have to be, and I kind of lumped them together, even though they're two different tanks. But the Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 tank.
Okay, so I only pulled a picture for the Tiger 1.
That's fine. The King Tiger, it's a later war production, and it's a mess.
They all are.
Yeah, and they lost. So obviously it wasn't.
And they lost. Did you look up and see how much they cost?
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah. So I think King Tiger for like 1940 was something equivalent or so to about $75,000 US in 1940. So probably well over $1 billion.
So it's two Stewarts.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Which is why, the King Tiger, I mean, I think they only produce under 500, like 492 of them.
Yeah.
And collectively, Tiger 1 and 2, they only produced about 1,800 of them. And I found this to be very interesting. The Tiger 1
is so damn expensive?
Huh?
Is it just because they're so damn expensive?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's definitely a big part of it, especially when you're, kind of running out of credit and into the war, and you can only finance yourself essentially by the end of the war. Tiger 1, the prototype for it was actually delivered to Adolf Hitler on April 20th, 1942, which just so happened to be his 53rd birthday. And the Tiger 1.
Hitler, here's a tank.
Yeah, here's a birthday tank. I don't have friends that nice. No one's ever gifted me a Tiger 1 tank.
I don't think you want to have the friends that he had, though.
Probably not. Definitely not. Actually, no.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Just keep the crap friends that you have now. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, my crappy friends and I host a podcast together. Cheers. We're not Nazis.
I like that you said friends. There's only one of me, so
maybe
I'm just only crappy friends.
I have multiple personalities. Depends on which one you get. So Tiger 1 is actually first used during the siege of Leningrad. And it's actually first used against Western allies in Tunisia. But the thing that kind of cracks me up, who's responsible for naming the Tiger tank?
Fire away.
Ferdinand Porsche.
Yeah.
As in the Porsche, as in if you drive a Porsche today.
Yeah, he also made the turret or designed the turret for Tiger 2.
He did.
Yeah.
So just think about that while you're driving either a Porsche or a BMW, the people's car.
Or Mercedes-Benz.
We're just putting it out there. Unfortunately for, well,
I got excuse me, total aside. I got all over Drew Gruber this morning because he's restoring a Morris.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, buddy, did you know that Morris Motors backed Oswald Mosley and the fascists in the 1930s? And he goes, I didn't know that. And I said, well, how's it feel to drive your little fascist car, you little fascist?
Well, now you do. I just ruined it.
Okay, sorry. Go on. I didn't know enough about this silly Tiger.
So, unfortunately for Nazi Germany, fortunately for the Allies, Germans weren't producing these at a very fast rate at all. But what it did come with is thick armor and an 88 millimeter cannon, some pretty insane firepower, plus two MG34 7.62 millimeter machine guns. The Tiger II tank is the heaviest tank of the war, weighing in at a total of 57 tons, but yet could keep up to about 40 kilometers an hour. So although it was heavy, it was rather fast. But the reason that I picked the Tiger 1 and 2 is because I think arguably it is one of the most recognizable German tanks of the Second World War, and also everyone thought that they were fighting a Tiger.
That's right. I mean, anytime somebody saw a Panzer IV, they were like, oh, Tiger.
Yeah. Oh, and so, and you know, it's so funny. I was actually, you know, kind of reading up, you know, obviously, you know, looking at, you know, reflecting on, well, where do I rank my tanks? Someone said that the Tiger tank was an aura farmer, that it could strike heart into the fears of the or it could strike heart, strike.
Get your words right.
Yeah, strike fear. I know. My God, I'm only half a beer in. Have I become a lightweight? I hate myself for that. Could strike fear into the heart of the Allies. And, you know, like I said, everybody thought that they were fighting a Tiger. But the Tiger does have some very hardcore disadvantages. Cold weather and mud is arguably the number one hater of the Tiger tank. Slows it down, and it's also pretty keen to immobilization. But, you know, the thing is that the Tiger was supposed to be the worst, you know, kept secret in Nazi Germany. Hitler had orders for every Tiger tank commander to destroy their tank if it were to become immobilized, so that the Allies didn't gain any intelligence on it. And immobilization was, well, rather frequent. Most crews also had very limited training in the Tiger 1 and 2. Also, the tank itself became too costly. It became too material heavy. I want to say that someone made a guesstimation that for every Tiger tank produced, Nazi Germany could have produced anywhere from 12 to 15 artillery pieces. So that's, you know, kind of driving the point home that this thing costs too much, and the material that goes into it just really wasn't worth it. Because, I mean, they don't really produce, and they produce under 2,000 Tiger tanks.
And every piece and part of it, in terms of its mass production, is it's like hand engineered.
Yeah.
And once you throw a gear in that gearbox, you're done. That's it.
And it is not easily repairable on the battlefield, which doesn't make it all that versatile.
Well, I mean, look at the road wheels. You know, this is something that I saw when we were at the Tank Museum last summer. Is like the interlocking road wheels. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably great for stability and all these other things, but God, you damage a road wheel or you have to replace the track. You're hosed, bud.
Yep, easy. And eventually, you know, the Tiger becomes outclassed eventually by the Joseph Stalin II and the M26 Pershing in the late war. You know, so was it worth it? Not really. But my point of picking the Tiger is really for that Allied perception, you know, that every tank was a Tiger. Like it had that level of aura. It had that level of, you know, danger, you know, so to speak. And just, I mean, because especially when it comes to like infantry, you know, infantry is such a mindset. Because if I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, is if I'm facing a Panzer IV, I feel like I can, okay, that seems a little bit more manageable, but then they say across that ridge is a Tiger II. It's like, ooh, okay, how do we get around that?
Let's just call in the artillery and do what we're supposed to do and just let them bombard the hell out of it for an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that's number 2.
Yep, there's Tiger.
Okay, so we'll do my number 2, and then we'll go to a break, and then we'll come back and do number 1s.
Yep.
So here comes my number 2, the M4 Sherman. Note very specifically the driver of that Sherman. World Tank Corps.
But it would be a red beret there.
That's a black beret.
Black beret.
It's a black beret. It's a black beret. So went with another Lend-Lease vehicle, American-made Lend-Lease vehicle. I know all of the myths and all of the crap about the Shermans. It's the runts and it lights on fire, all this other stuff. Okay, yeah, I know, I get it. Your grandfather told you. You know what? If everyone's grandfather was in a Sherman that caught on fire, there would be no Shermans left because they would all have exploded. There are more people saying that the Sherman was a crappy tank than there were Sherman tanks. So here I am, once again, defender, martyr on the cross for the Sherman tank, big fan of the Sherman. And that's not just opinion. Like, the Sherman is, I think, not only is it the most widely used tank by Western Allies, the most produced Western Allied tank, it's also the best because it's got everything you need. It's just the right amount of technological advantages in terms of having a gyro stabilizing gun. So that gun sight, once you're aimed, it's going to continue to kind of ride on the road wheels and it'll ride its suspension, but you're not going to lose your stabilization on your gun. It's got all the machine guns you could ever need. It's got thick enough armor. It again, the way that we perceive armored warfare, I think, leads us to pick tanks like a Tiger or a Tiger II in a straight up open field brawl. That's probably fine because you would need 5 or 6 Shermans just to bum rush a single Tiger or a King Tiger. That's okay. All right. I'll give you that argument. But if you use armor the way that armor was actually used in the Second World War, where it's an infantry support, you clear with infantry, you have armor there as an assistance, the Sherman really can't be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got it all. And then when you throw in later models with the 76 millimeter gun for the Americans, or you put the Firefly with the 17-pound gun for the British, there's just, I'm sorry, best tank of the war. It's a shame it couldn't be my number 1, but I have a special tank for number 1. And 2, here's the other thing about the Sherman. See that suspension? See the road wheels?
Mm-hmm.
Super easy to repair.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole tank is easy to repair. And what's so great about it is, particularly if you're an American driver, an American tank crew, you have a lot more space. But the other thing is, it's just like driving a tractor because it's a very simple gearbox.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, powerful engines. You've got a very simple drive mechanism. You're not looking at something as complicated as a Tiger or as run down and kind of ramshackle as a T-34. This is perfectly manufactured for what it has to do and what it's supposed to do. So again, I already hear the comment section. I already see the people saying that it's not a good tank or whatever their grandfather or great grandfather. I get it, okay, but like, he's wrong, okay?
Yeah,
tanks are cool.
You brought up a good point. Especially looking at the M4 and the Tiger, particularly. The Tiger has we'll say a kill loss ratio of about 15-1, and in some places obviously it's higher, in some places it's actually lower. But I did read a statistic that said that if you take into account the amount of, which is hilarious that this is how they worded it, If you incorporate the amount of like abandonment issues that the Tiger has, whether it be a failed gearbox, whether it be, cold weather, whether it be mud, whatever, that number actually decreases to about 5-1, which you can argue that the production cost and time that it takes to make it
absolutely
doesn't make it worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, here, let's just run numbers here, right? Design 1940, total cost initially is $44,556.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that grows up to be about 64,000. So almost 879,000 in today's dollars, and that's just a great statistic that was happily provided for me. But I would take that $60,000, let's call it a $50,000 tank. I'll take a $50,000 tank that I know would at least be somewhat reliable as opposed to the Tiger. Almost 50,000 of them made, save, not, that doesn't count prototypes or anything like that. But I mean, again, almost a foot, almost 12.5 millimeters of armor, eventually more in other places, 75 millimeter gun, 76 millimeter gun. Then of course you add in some of the changes like the 105 millimeter howitzer to turn it into essentially a mobile artillery platform. But at that point, is it a tank anymore or is it a mobile artillery piece? I don't know. Let the
comments decide.
But it's got all the power that you could ever need. And again, range over 130 miles, cross country anywhere from 60 to 100. So I'm taking the Sherman on my the Great Swan across France. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's going to be my tank that leads the way. All right. You just did number 2. I just did number 2.
I hope I didn't do number 2. Oh, you mean tanks? Okay.
Yeah, the tank, not. Please, no. No. Let's do a quick little commercial break, and we'll come back, and we'll do our last tanks, right? Yeah, our number 1s. All right, let's do it.
Homebrew History is brought to you by Civil War Trails. Civil War Trails is the world's largest outdoor museum with more than 1,600 sites in 6 different states. Civil War Trails can be part of your next family vacation just by simply visiting their website, and you can find the link below in our description, or visit civilwartrails.org, where you can request a free brochure for your next road trip. Whether or not you're heading to the beach or off to Disney World, or maybe you're heading just around the block, you can make Civil War Trails part of your trip. Visit our friends at Civil War Trails. For $5 a month, you can support Homebrew History. Head over to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can subscribe and become a member of the Homebrew crew. There, for just $5, you get access to ad-free episodes, exclusive episodes with our guests. You get a little bit more bang for your buck when it comes to the whole series episodes. We've got a series coming out, you get the whole thing all in one run, as opposed to having to wait around like everyone else. Join us over on the Buy Me a Coffee page and help support Homebrew History. Remember, for just $5 a month, you make sure Homebrew History has enough. Homebrew History is proud to partner with our friend the bearded historian Jeff Williams. Head on over to his shop where you can check out some of his great designs. He's got all kinds of great designs just waiting for you, featuring artifacts and objects from all kinds of historical periods, and designs featuring some of your favorite scenes and actors from films and series like A Bridge Too Far, Band of Brothers, Gettysburg, Kelly's Heroes, and much, much more. If you're not already following us over on Facebook, Instagram, and now Blue Sky, check us out. And make sure that you're subscribed and listening to us on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And if you're watching that YouTube channel, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll be back after just a few commercial messages.
Whoa.
We're back.
We're back. Look at that. You see, I love a good commercial break like that. That's 2 minutes where I could just kind of like disassociate.
And then the last 15 seconds, it's like, all right, walk back in.
I just wait till I hear like and subscribe, and then
that's my
reprogram.
I've been Pavloved.
Yeah, like my eyes stop dilating. All I come back to the
I'm
show.
back.
All right. We are down to our number one favorite tanks of the Second World War. I'm just going to guess, Mr. Trissler, that yours must still be on here, right?
Must still be.
Must still be. Is that it?
That would be the one. The
That's the one.
M4 Sherman.
No, that's kind of a crap. It's a crap move on our part.
It is, but I also have a couple other reasons too why the Sherman is great. I mean, because you're absolutely right. The Sherman is a fantastic tank because everybody wants to either have one or they want to copy it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say there are more than 20 different variants of the Sherman, but something that probably has to be near and dear to my heart is the one that you just mentioned not too long ago, the Firefly, because it equips that 17-pounder on there, and that just elevates it even more. It's easy to work on, but like you said, and I've found this incredibly interesting because I'd always heard that the Sherman was always easily combustible, was always flammable, and I was like, what is a Ronson? Apparently, that was a lighter company.
Yeah, it's a cigarette lighter.
It is, and apparently their slogan was "Lights every time." I'm like, oh,
the thing, and I can't remember where I read this. It was either in Brothers in Arms or maybe it was in Tank. I don't remember, but maybe it was something I saw when I was at the Tank Museum. I can't remember. But basically, their whole argument was like, yeah, it only ever did that when it had full fuel tanks and full ammunition racks.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case, like you're looking at like a perfect storm type of thing.
Yeah, but they do learn from their mistakes though, because eventually later models of the Sherman actually introduce wet stowage of the ammunition, so it would reduce explosions, and there's like water-filled tanks around the ammunition, which prevented massive explosions and massive fires inside of it. The KD, the kill to loss ratio of the Sherman is actually pretty good, especially against Panthers. It's about 3.5 Shermans to every 1 Panther. And there is some boohickey, though, about the M4 Sherman, is that it took, so many Shermans to take down a Tiger. But if you really boil it down, it really only took about 1.5 Shermans to take down a Tiger, not, 30 as people, may imply.
Yeah. The whole strategy, though, if you look at how like a British armored squadron operated, a tank troop would operate is, you've got 3 regular Shermans and a Firefly, and the 3 Shermans move on it, the Firefly sights it in. So you've got really 4 tanks engaged with it. But it's not like you're going to call in an entire armored battalion to take on 1 Tiger.
Right.
It's certainly not like that god awful freaking.
You mean Fury? You mean Fury wasn't
to take on a Tiger that's running circles around them?
Yeah, you mean that wasn't completely accurate?
No, but my favorite memory of England is finding a picture of Brad Pitt picking his nose at the Tank Museum. I gotta see if I can find that. Hold that up to the camera. Take that, Brad.
Of all the things to remember, Brad.
I did a lot of other fun stuff there too, but come on.
There's just no picture like it. But you made a good point that the Shermans, are usually used as a combined force with infantry, artillery, and close air support, and also, tank destroying squadrons.
I know I was going to find it that quick.
There he is.
There he is, picking his nose,
digging for gold.
Yeah, what a guy! What a guy! I asked Catherine, I was like, "Do you think that's a pick or a scratch?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. That's a pick."
He's definitely got some,
He's got,
he got some hook there.
He's got girth with that thumb. He's pulling up.
You do.
I think if you're going down, it's going up.
Yeah. I think General Lucius Clay probably said it best about the Sherman versus other German tanks. General Clay said something along the lines of, "We were never able to build a tank as good as the German tank, but we made so many that it really didn't matter."
Yeah, I'll take that.
He's like, well, but I mean, it does seem like that he's kind of downplaying the abilities of the Sherman. But I also think he's harping on that, hey, we were able to produce 50,000 of these Sherman tanks compared to under 2,000 like Tiger tanks, and that was supposed to be the best of the best that Germany had to offer. It's like, well, all that armor didn't really matter when you got about, when you're outnumbered 20-1.
That's fair. That's fair. So that's your number 2, or that's your number 1.
Number 1.
All right.
But I do have a special tank for after your number 1.
I also have a special tank for Silly Tank Hour.
I love Silly Tank Hour.
I think that's going to be the highlight of but anyways, here we go. Numero uno, my favorite tank of the Second World War. Only enters into service in January 1945, but the A-34 Comet. I mean, you look for a tank that really brings British armor and British tank warfare into the modern era. It's the Comet. It's the link between, say, the Cromwell tank and the later Challengers and the Centurions. Like that's how you get to modern day British armor. It's the Comet. Not only that, I mean, the damn thing just flies. It's fast. It's got a hell of a gun on it, and that gun now, 77mm gun, is firing the armor piercing discarding sabot round. So you've got this, I mean, just an incredible weapon on a very, very fast chassis. Now, I know 1200 build. They only enter into service in the last couple months of the war. I get it. I get all of that. Could I have picked the Cromwell? Yes. Should I have? Maybe. But on looks, on just beauty, on the cool factor alone, the Comet wins.
She's sexy.
It's sexy. It's sexy. In some places, 101 millimeters of armor. So hard to beat that. So heavily armored. You've got 77mm gun, so a 3-inch gun, basically, carrying 61 rounds. 2 7.92 machine guns with almost 5,200 rounds worth of ammo. Rolls-Royce Meteor engine, so it's got 600 horsepower.
It purrs.
Yeah, it screams. Let's see, what else do we need to say about it? I mean, here's its speeds here. Cross country can go 14.5 miles an hour. On the road, 32.5 miles an hour. Operational range, a little bit over 120 miles. So it's certainly the fastest of all of my tanks, save for the Stuart. But I think it's the tank I would take over pretty much all of them. I'm going with the Comet. Yeah. It's also modern. I mean, again, it's the linchpin between World War II and modern day tanks. It comes in the Comet.
It weirdly enough kind of looks like an early prototype of a modern Abrams.
Yeah. And it has enough resemblance to a Cromwell.
It does.
And enough resemblance to a Centurion that you can see, like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I get how they did that.
Oh, yes, very nice thing.
Yeah, I get how they did it. All right. So now that we've done our favorite tanks, we have a little segment, and as opposed to Boohickey,
yes,
we have Silly Tanks Hour.
Silly Tank Hour.
Silly Tank Hour. Now, silly tanks, I think, can probably be summed up as just a silly little thing. you wanted to talk about your tank first, but I wanted to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I think, a better tank. She's back. Taylor Swift, everybody.
Hey, there she is, everybody. Yeah, her fiance is playing right now.
Is she? Wait, what'd you say?
I said her boyfriend. I said, wait, nay, her fiance.
Oh, I thought you said and Beyonce.
Oh.
And I was like, what about Beyonce? Where is she
awesome.
at?
Yeah,
how does Beyonce Knowles work into this? I'm very confused.
Yes, her fiance Travis Kelce is playing the football right now in Brazil, of all places.
Well, I mean, I saw that the Pirates have done pretty well this week, sweeping the Dodgers. That was,
Yeah. We get it.
Hey, look, I take wins where I can find them.
Yeah, we just
They are hard to come by.
We suck right now. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so Bo,
Silly tank hour. Look how silly this thing is. Okay, folks, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the pride of New Zealand, the Bob Simple tank. Okay, this is the brainchild of Bob Simple. He was actually New Zealand's Minister of Works at the outbreak of the Second World War. He's actually an incredibly interesting guy. I kind of read up a little bit about who he was. He's kind of grew up as a young man who didn't come from money. You know, he kind of worked his way up. He was actually a very radical political individual. He actually encouraged the New Zealand government to not enter into the First World War. He actually didn't want a conscription. But when he comes into governmental power in the Second World War as the Minister of Works, he's actually for a conscription, but it does have its differences. So New Zealand in the First World War is sending troops as part of the Commonwealth of Great Britain, to fight on the Western Front. And that was one thing. But when Bob Simple is, in the thick of things in the middle of the Second World War, what he's fearing is not sending, New Zealand troops to Europe. He's worried about a Japanese invasion of New Zealand. So he's like, we need a conscription to protect the homeland. Well, unfortunately for New Zealand and Australia, both of them lacked an indigenous armored fighting vehicle industry. So they kind of had to make do with what they had.
Grab some plywood and some sheet metal and find a tractor.
This is the result. Only 2 of them were ever made.
I can see why.
What you're looking at is a modified American Caterpillar D8 tractor. It was supposed to. So you see where the main cannon would kind of go up there. It was supposed to fit a 37 millimeter cannon, which was, something very similar to something you would see on the British Stuart light tank. But unfortunately, New Zealand couldn't get their hands on a 37 millimeter cannon. So what they did instead was they just cut a bunch of holes in it and stuck not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 303 Bren gun machine guns all around it. Which I love the Bren gun. Who doesn't? But it was basically a mobile machine gun nest.
Very heavily armored and very slow moving.
Yes. So, funnily enough, Caterpillar actually provided the chassis for it, but Distance Sawworks actually provided the tank's body. And it took about $21,000 to make, which was about $367,000 in the modern era. So it's very cheaply, poorly made. It's very silly. It's very box styled. The thing is, though, is that when it was first revealed, it didn't go well. The people of New Zealand kind of made fun of it. First of all, because how it looked, and they thought the steel armor was nothing more than corrugating roofing shingles or sheets. This tank is what I've called the make-do tank, or some people have called it the worst-built tank of the Second World War, because it has a lot of disadvantages. First of all, its max speed is 7.5 miles an hour.
My man, I think this bad boy that I'm about to roll out will make your tank look like.
I can't wait. So I think at least for like 2 seconds, I might be able to get up to 7.5 miles an hour on foot. Maybe, probably not. But
you probably do more than 7 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, for 2-3 seconds. So I could probably run faster than this tank for just a quick moment.
That's right. You don't run.
I don't. So if you see me running, run faster because something's after me.
You think I could probably get over 7 miles an hour easily?
Yeah. So this thing had a very bad habit of simply just tipping over after just very simply traveling over bumpy terrain. Its square design made it very susceptible to anti-tank fire. And considering that, well, the Japanese equivalent to this would have been the Type 95 light tank, which got up to 28 miles an hour, and it could actually maneuver well. Whereas this one, the Bob Simple tank, it had to stop and then turn. It couldn't turn and move at the same time. So the funniest thing is that the New Zealand military was like, no. This one's going to be this is our guy. This is our thing. This is our tank. We're doubling down.
You're hitting your microphone. No one can hear you.
This is going to be our tank. This is our guy. This is our thing. Well, after about 1 or 2 field tests, even the New Zealand military was like, yeah, this is going to be combat inefficient, so we're kind of scrapping this. But although this is a very silly tank that had never seen combat, what this did prove, what's so significant about this tank, is it signifies arguably the tenacity of a small nation like New Zealand that is willing to make do with what they have to defend their homeland.
All right.
With a silly tank.
I have a silly tank as well, because I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about the Caro Veloce CV35. Not only is it ugly,
I think it's ugly.
It's resilient. And sometimes that's all you can be when you're ugly. It's resilient. Take it from someone with experience. Ask Bo all about it. This is a tank that was produced from 1935 to 1938 by the Kingdom of Fascist Italy. They made 1,200 of the L3 and then 1,300 of the L335. They probably should have made none. But anyways, 3.2 tons, a little bit more than 10 feet long, only 4 feet tall, though. So this is a tank where you can stand on one side of it and see to the other side of it. It's kind of like getting into a Volkswagen Bug. Like, I don't know. The Bug has, I think, thicker armor. It has a crew of 2. 2. A whole 2 people. One of them is a tank commander. The other one is a driver. They have 14 millimeters of armor between them and the Almighty. 2 8-millimeter machine guns as their armament. It is equipped with a 43 horsepower. 43. That's 4-3, double digits horsepower. I think my lawnmower actually has more horsepower than that.
My battery-powered one.
It has an operational range of 78 miles with a top speed of 26 miles an hour. Now, all that said, this is a tank that served from 1935. Wait now. Hold on. Get ready. They found a Caro Veloce in Afghanistan in 2003.
Oh.
Still running. Still shooting, Tex.
The pride of someone's armored division.
Yeah. Now the 3.5s eventually were adopted by the Chinese Nationalist Army once Italy bows out of the war and their tankettes are basically just lost into the wind. So the Chinese nationalists get them, and then the communists use them during the Chinese Civil War. Loads of them are just left in the desert. Loads of them are left in the Middle East, so they're just kind of picked up by random people and used. But just a totally useless piece of trash. Anyways, that's my silly tank, because not only, just look at it. It's just so goofy. The headlights that high up on a tank. And you know what's funny about it is the headlights are right next to the driver's compartment and the tank commander's hatch. So it's like, hey, shoot the headlights and you'll probably hit the guy.
Probably.
And the bogey suspension. Nightmare.
For a brief moment, can you go back to the Bob Simple tank?
I can, yeah, we can pull up Bob Simple Tank again.
So you know what this tank reminds me of? It reminds me of being in like pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, and being bored and just drawing tanks.
Yeah, somebody says, draw me a tank, and you're like, okay, here you go.
Bob Simple sat down. He said, okay, I am now in charge of New Zealand's tank production. And he just writes down a little prototype, and he just found like one of our drawings from like kindergarten. He said, yeah.
It's kind of like Elon Musk and the Cybertruck. Is like, he's found like a 3-year-old.
Oh, that's offensive.
Can you draw me a car? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
almost offensive to the Simple Tank.
I mean, come on.
So silly.
Come on. This is yeah. These two are the things that you draw when you're bored. And it's like, let's just draw a tank.
Just wing it.
And then you get to the Caro Veloce. I have to say the name. Caro Veloce.
Caro Veloce.
And it's like, where do you put the cannon? Oh no, there is no cannon.
That's the fun part. There isn't.
That's the fun part. They're just machine guns. And I love the explanation for why it was phased out. It was simply outclassed. Yeah, by like a guy with a bike and a Thompson submachine gun.
Yeah, a guy with like an M2 hand grenade.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's our simple tanks. There's our ranked tanks. We've not done an episode like this. Don't make us regret it. And if you do, we'll come after you. But I think it's time for this little segment here.
Yes. What was in my cup was a delicious ice cold Yingling beer. What better way to talk tanks than with a good old fashioned amber style beer?
That's fair. Good call.
How about you? What's in your cup?
You'll notice I haven't been sipping on anything because I left my drink outside again.
Someone let that drink in.
But what I had made for myself, I had a little matcha green tea. I was very excited about. But now I'll have to be excited about a cold matcha green tea.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Now it is your job, dear listener, and tell us, give us your top 3 in the comments. We can always use the extra comment or 2. Rank your tanks, #TankTalk.
Yeah, and be sure to like and subscribe and share this episode with all your friends. And remember that you'll catch us on Wednesdays now. So if you're like me, you got in the car on Monday and you're like, where the hell's Homebrew History? What did I do wrong? It's Wednesdays. You're fine. It's us. It's me, not you, type of thing.
We're here to see your week out.
That's right. I'm tired of welcoming the week with you.
Yeah.
I want to say goodbye to it.
Yeah. Right.
And it's better to do it on a Wednesday than it is on a Friday because you're not going to listen to this over the weekend. Let's be honest. All right, Bo. As always, sir, a pleasure.
Good talking tanks.
Good talking tanks and good ranks. I feel like that was pretty good. We kind of covered a lot of ground here. So
I'm very interested at seeing what some of our listeners have to say because there's a lot of tank out there to rank.
There's a lot of tanks out there, and I feel like they're not going to say anything because they don't comment. It's like they don't exist.
So there you go.
This is our just shouting into the ether.
Yeah, this is our challenge to you.
Yeah, prove me wrong. All right. Well, till next time.
Next time, folks.